Okay, so the recorder is going, just to let everybody know. Let's go back on the record in the matter of Jeffrey Peterson versus Raymond School District. ERD case numbers CR202400725 and CR202401544. This is the fourth day of hearing in this case, being conducted using Teams video conferencing. We are continuing with the complainant's case in chief, and as I understand it, Attorney Haslam for the complainant is going to be calling Abby Ramon as the next witness, correct?
That is correct, Your Honor.
And the name, as it appears on the screen, Ms. Ramon, Abbieramon, is that the correct spelling of first and last names?
Yeah.
Okay, thanks. Okay, so before you begin your testimony, I just need to swear you, and can you raise your right hand? You promise that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Ramon.
Good morning.
So you were an administrator at Raymond School while Jeff Peterson was the principal, is that correct?
Correct.
And what did you think of his performance as a principal?
I mean, I've worked with a lot of principals. I would say that Jeff was a pretty solid principal. He had a lot of experience. He knew how to run a school. I was only with him there 2 years, and so I mean, during a period of transition, sometimes it's like, as a principal, you are getting the lay of the land. But I felt like he was a fine principal.
And were you also there when Mike Garvey became the superintendent?
Yes.
Okay. And when Peterson was there and before Garvey arrived, how was the atmosphere at the school?
It was not the worst it had been, and it was a little bit of a period of unrest just because we were in a situation with we had gone from a situation with a job share with two principal / superintendent people that were running the building, and then we had a principal come in for, I want to say it was 2 years. And during that time, the superintendent position had gone through a reduction, and we had a new superintendent. So I wouldn't say things were especially bad. They were definitely, as you change a structure, it was just the nuances of working out, like, what does it mean when we have a part-time superintendent? What does it mean, when a new principal comes in and has vision and goals for the buildings and things like that? I wouldn't say it was the best I had ever experienced at Raymond, but it definitely wasn't the worst.
And would you say it was a period where there were some hurdles in adapting to new role changes of roles?
Objection, leading.
Okay. I'll actually move on. So with Mr. Garvey, you were an administrator, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And so was Mr. Peterson, correct?
Yes.
And then Mike Garvey was the administrator. Was that the administrative staff?
Yes.
And
well, there was also the director of special education, but he was he was shared with other districts. So he wasn't a full-time part of our team, but he was another administrator with the building.
And after Mike Garvey came on, did he hold regular administrative meetings with the administration?
Like the administrative team?
Yeah, like an administrative team meeting.
I can't say that I remember specifically. I know we met at times. I don't know that that was a regular, consistent practice. I just can't remember.
Okay. And now I'm going to posit to you that there was prior testimony in this case about you having a meeting with Gwen Keller and someone named Art Binhack to review school curriculum. Did this happen?
Yes.
Okay, can you tell me about, well, first off, I guess, what was the curriculum that they wanted to review?
They wanted to review the middle school second step resources that was used as part of our social emotional learning curriculum.
Okay, okay. And can you tell me about that meeting between you, Gwen Keller, and Art Binhack?
Sure. So Gwen had reached out. It was near the beginning of the year. I want to say probably September, maybe October, probably earlier. Just as a parent, she had wanted to review eighth grade curricular materials. At the time her daughter was in eighth grade, and she had some concerns, and she had shared with me a link. I think the link went to like a Facebook video or something, and I don't remember the exact location of the link, but she had seen a video online about like another person who was, um, I think they were speaking to a school board about the curriculum and concerns they had about content that was in the curriculum. Um, and the material had originated out of Utah. I do remember that as like part of the name of the video. Um, and so she had reached out because she was concerned that that was included and she wanted to review the curriculum. So we weren't able to meet like that day, but I'm pretty sure we met within a week or whatever. And she came in, she met with Mrs. Ward and myself. Mrs. Ward was the counselor, and so she was the person that would provide instruction and in the SEL curriculum at the time. And she came, she brought Art with her. I wasn't aware at the time that he was coming, but he came. So, you know, the more the merrier, whatever, sit down and join. Um, and so we just, if it was a digital curriculum, so that was convenient, at least for the sake that we could, I had a big screen in the room, and we just pulled up the materials and went lesson by lesson, document by document, video by video, reviewed all of the eighth grade. Then when we were through with eighth grade, um, I think we went to sixth grade because I want to say, yeah, I think because there's some was in sixth grade at the time. So she was curious. I think we ended up possibly viewing 6, 7, 8, the whole middle school. But it was like a page by page review of everything. So it was a couple hours probably.
Did she bring up any concerns with the depiction of certain students in that curriculum?
She did. She asked a lot of questions. Questions about like why that curriculum was chosen, why, um, like what I was helping her understand just like the process of curriculum and things like that. She was very concerned because it kept coming up just that she felt the pictures of students on the page, well, not pages, but on the screen did not represent Raymond students. And so she was concerned that the school district hadn't sought a resource that was more reflective of the students in the classrooms at Raymond. Um,
Can I interject right here? What do you think she meant by like not reflective of the students at Raymond?
Objection calls for speculation.
Did she tell you what she meant by that?
well, I asked her what she meant by it, because a lot of it's just pictures of like teenagers in classrooms and things. And she just she explained that when she looked at those students, she didn't see the same kind of students that she saw in Raymond classrooms.
And describe the students that she was pointing out to you.
They were run of the mill, like teenager, middle school age, boys, girls, different ethnicities, different hairstyles, different clothes. I mean, just a wide variety. I wouldn't say there was predominantly any specific stereotype that stood out or anything.
Did she have a particular issue with the students in a flannel shirt?
Objection, leading, and speculation.
No, I don't think either of those objections apply, actually.
So I'd like a ruling
I
on that,
think
Judge.
are you viewing this witness as adverse?
Not at all, no.
Okay,
I guess I could rephrase the question slightly, but I'm asking if Gwen Keller pointed out one of the students she was talking about wearing a flannel shirt.
I don't have an objection. That's a different question.
Okay.
So I can answer that?
Yes, you
Yeah.
can.
Yeah, okay. Sorry, I don't want to break any laws here. There was a student that she stopped and made note about. The student was wearing a flannel shirt, had like a really, I wouldn't say quite like a pixie haircut, but like a shorter haircut, and was a female student that had given like a the way the curriculum is, like sometimes you see like kids in groups and sometimes it's like one kid talking about something, and this kid was solo in the clip that she was in. Um, and Gwen did stop and wanted to talk about that student and why that student she felt was dressed like a boy.
Okay, did she, was there another student she pointed out that was a boy student who had makeup on or a voice change?
I'm trying to think here. I think there was, I personally don't remember any boys wearing makeup, so I can't say for certain. There were a few students though, just like along the way that she stopped and made, I mean, she was very detail oriented, so she was looking at every single thing on every page.
Okay. Um, so with that meeting, is there anything else that you think is important to discuss about it? With that meeting between you, Art Binhack, and Gwen Keller?
I'm gonna object. That's overly broad. Also could call for irrelevant information. I mean, she doesn't know what the issues are in this case.
You're aware this is a discrimination case, correct?
Me?
Yes,
Yes. Yeah. I mean, it's
not against
pretty
you, of
obvious
course.
in the title. Yeah.
So, I mean, is there anything in that meeting that came up that made you concerned that there was any kind of discriminatory agenda that Ms. Keller or Mr. Binhack had?
I'm gonna object. That calls for speculation. This is an employment discrimination case. This
Overruled.
isn't about curriculum.
It's overruled.
Okay,
What does that mean? Should I answer? No.
you can answer.
Please, you can answer yes.
Sorry. Gosh, I guess my big takeaway from that meeting was one, frustration, because we went there to look for something that we didn't find. And so, which is fine, like not keeping a secret, we had used that curriculum for years, so it wasn't anything new. And it seemed like even though there wasn't what we were looking for, there was almost like a preoccupation with trying to find us something. In sometimes I felt like the questioning was sort of accusatory, like I was trying to hide something. I presented everything I had. I didn't have anything else, and so it's just frustrating when trying to ground in what we're doing in our school with our students, and there's noise in the outside world, and this video she had found had led her to make some beliefs and I think some judgments about what we were doing, and it just wasn't true. And I don't really know why Art was there. He just kept writing notes. I'm not really sure what that was about, but
Okay.
So I'm gonna move well, hold on. I'm gonna move to strike the answer as not responsive to the question.
oh, sorry, didn't I answer?
No, the judge, you're fine, Abby. That's
Oh,
just, I'm
okay.
doing my job. Now let the judge do his job.
I think it was broad. Was there anything else about the meeting that stood out? Wasn't that the gist of the question?
That was it, Your Honor.
I'm overruled. I'm gonna motion to strike the answer.
Okay.
Okay.
Now, so you said you mentioned you didn't know why Art Binhack was there. Did he have students at the school?
No,
So it was just you and Gwen Keller, Art Binhack, and then somebody else, another staff member, you said, right?
yeah, our school counselor,
Okay.
because she was the one that taught it.
Okay. Okay. And you were the curriculum director, I guess, right?
That wasn't my title. I was the coordinator of student learning.
Okay. Okay.
But I
Yeah.
helped oversee curriculum, yes.
Okay. And you expressed that you were looking for something that Gwen thought was in that curriculum and couldn't find it, and she expressed frustration. Did I summarize that correctly?
Objection, that's leading. You're summarizing
well,
the witness's testimony.
Okay. So do you recall? I'm going to change the question. Do you recall what it was that Ms. Keller was looking for in the SEL program that she couldn't find?
Yes, specifically, one of the named items was that the curriculum itself had a link to an outside website that kids could access via the curriculum, and that outside website had, it was, I haven't been on the website in however many years now. It was around, like, basically about relationships, like teen relationships website. The resources she shared with me, I was able to go to the link, but we did not find that link in the curriculum. So I was able to see the link, but the link did not exist, at least in the curriculum that we were looking at the time.
Do you think that Ms. Keller had an anti-LGBTQ bias?
Objection that clearly calls for speculation. She can't testify to what other people think or believe. Wholly improper.
I can withdraw that question. Do you have any reasons to think that Ms. Keller had an anti-LGBTQ bias?
Again, a same objection. It calls for speculation. She can testify to conversations, what was discussed, what she saw, what she heard. She is a fact witness.
I believe that's what I meant by reasons, Your Honor.
That
I
I'd
think
like a
if
ruling
there's-
on my objection, please.
I'm going to overrule it. It would be anything that would lead you, anything that you knew or that happened that would lead you to draw that conclusion.
So I can answer that?
Answer
Yes.
yes.
Okay. Sorry. Don't want
It's
to
a
overstep
no.
here. I would say that when we went, because we did look at that website also, that it was clear that she had a very specific perspective about how relationships and things should be presented, and that I would say she was looking for things that didn't align with her view or perspective, whether that be regarding gender or sexuality or just morality, how she perceives morality in general. Because the website itself, you could tell it was towards like a greater audience of teens, not middle schoolers. Like I could see how, it might be geared towards like 17-year-olds or whatever. And again, it wasn't part of our curriculum. So I understand that as a parent, you might not think something's appropriate for your 12 or 13-year-old. And we were looking at that. But as we were navigating that website, it was pretty clear that she was uncomfortable with some of the information that was presented on there. But again, that wasn't our curriculum. So
Loose answer goes solely to the link that she had found, but that was not part of the curriculum. Is that correct?
for the link, yes.
All right. And so as an you're a school administrator still, correct?
Correct.
And as an administrator, are you familiar with administrator evaluations?
Yeah.
And can you give me a brief description of how administrator evaluations are typically conducted?
Do you
I'm just
mean
gonna-
oh,
I think Abby's about to ask you to qualify. Are you talking about her evaluating staff or her
Yeah.
being evaluated? I think you can fix this, Wes.
Yeah, about administrators
Yeah.
being evaluated. Exactly.
okay. So like myself as
Yeah.
being
yeah.
okay. Yeah. So well, all staff are evaluated in school systems. That's state law. And specifically, whatever district you work in, your district approves like an evaluation system. So you do have local control over the professional model that's used for evaluation. So for example, when I was employed at Raymond, the model that we used for evaluation was called the STRONG model. It was out of the CISA 6 network. And so that model has a framework, and the framework evaluates different staff in different roles. So like an administrator based on the Wisconsin administrator standards. So there are standards that guide not just student instruction, but guide professionalism. So like there's teaching standards, there's school counselor standards, there's principal standards, curriculum standards, things like that. And so when you're evaluated, your evaluation is organized in that model around the standards, but the I guess like more focus of an evaluation typically is grounded in as a professional, every year it's an expectation that you set goals. So it's typical you have like an SLO, which is a student learning objective, and then like it's called a PPG, professional practice goal, or a learning goal. And so when I'm evaluated, the evaluation is comprehensive around the administrative standards, but then tailored often to the work that I'm doing and how is that helping to achieve either the student learning goal or the professional practice goal. And so those, so like goal setting takes place at the beginning of the year, typically depending on review cycles, you'd have anywhere from, like in the strong model, maybe anywhere from say 3 at least to, if you were in a summer year, you might have more like 6, 10. There's shorter observation cycles with not where other models do kind of like longer observations. And typically you receive, if it's like a shorter, what we would call like a walkthrough or drive-by sort of observation, you those are impromptu. Those aren't things that you pre-schedule, but you usually should get feedback after the fact. And then if it's a longer observation of some sort, there's usually a pre-meeting. You would talk about like your goals in the context of what is planning to be observed, and then you would be observed, and then somebody would come back around and meet with you regarding what they observed, how it fit within a comprehensive model of like an administrative standard, and then also as it pertained to your specific goals with student learning and growth. And as an administrator, because we're not always just like teaching a class per se, you get observed in things like how you helped lead a meeting, or if you plan some professional development, or the way that you are managing staff or something to that effect. It would all tie back to what your administrative standards are, and the professionalism goals.
And at Raymond School, was CISA 6 the approved evaluation standard?
Yeah, the strong model was our model that was approved.
Okay, and that's CISA 6, right?
Yes.
Okay, and with that process you described, you described multiple observations as a part of that. Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so does that typically start at the beginning of the school year?
It should be happening throughout the entire year. Yes.
Okay, so it's a lengthy process typically, right?
Yeah, it's very involved. I mean, as an administrator who has to review other people, it's a little time consuming.
Okay. And all right. Well, that's all the questions I have for you, Ms. Ramon.
Okay.
Ms. Ramon, my name is Lori Levinsky. Can you hear and see me okay?
Yes, hi, Lori.
I'm going to be really quick, I think. I want to
Okay.
understand when you were at Raymond, what your job was, who you worked with. That's my first area. When did you commence employment at the Raymond School District?
It was, hold on, I was pregnant with my son. Let me do some math.
Yeah,
2015 was the
take your
start.
time.
2015, the 2015-16 school year was my first year.
What was your position during that first school year?
That first school year, I was hired as, my title was RTI coordinator. I was hired as a reading specialist. And it was K-8 RTI coordination. So not all curriculum, just specific to student supports and things.
How long did you hold that position?
Let me think. Let me do some math. I think it was 3 maybe years.
What was your position after that point, after those 3 or so years?
That's when it expanded to coordinator of student learning.
And did you hold the coordinator of student learning position from about 2019 until you ended your employment at Raymond?
Yeah.
When did you end your employment at Raymond?
I'm a reading specialist, not a math specialist. Let's see. It was 3 years ago this summer. So, well, we're in 26 now, so it would have been 23.
Were you on an administrator contract?
Yeah.
Did your administrator contract with Raymond then end on June 30, 2023?
Well, I resigned at the end of July. So
Okay.
in my resignation letter, I stated as of this date, I was resigning from my position. So technically the contract I had, but it would have rolled over if that makes sense. So
Can we then agree that you resigned your employment with the Raymond School District sometime in July of 2023?
yeah.
All right. And then the meeting you had with Art Binhack and Gwen Keller,
Mhm.
if possible, could you think back and tell us when that happened? I'd even take a season and a calendar year.
I know it was the beginning of the year. I vividly remember because the building's really hot
So
and the location.
hold tight.
Oh, okay.
When you say beginning of the year, we're all, except for the
Oh,
judge,
school
in the
years, like September, probably. I would say no later than maybe the first week of October. It was pretty early on with
what
students.
what year?
Oh, that would be, okay, so I left in 23, I think 21.
At the
No, 21 or 22.
At the time of this meeting, was Gwen Keller a school board member or was she just a citizen / parent?
She was a school board member, I'm
Okay,
fairly certain.
that's helpful. Okay. And if I heard your testimony earlier, Ms. Keller had arranged to meet with you to go through the SEL curriculum. Is that correct?
Mhm. Yeah.
And she was concerned because she stated to you that she was concerned because she had seen something on a link that caused her concern, right?
Yeah, the
Okay.
video, she sent me the video.
Okay. And the entirety of your conversation with her and Art related to the district's SEL curriculum, right?
No, because we also viewed like that website that wasn't part of the curriculum.
Okay.
Um,
Could we agree that your conversation involved curriculum in general, whether district
yeah,
approved or, okay.
yeah,
You were not talking with her at all about any employment related matters, correct?
no.
Right. And then just a couple more questions. Let me just quick look at my notes here, Abby. One moment. As an administrator in Raymond from about 2019 to July of 2023, did you have responsibility to evaluate staff?
Yeah.
Who was your direct supervisor? And you don't have to give me a name, just the title of the person who was your direct supervisor.
Superintendent.
Okay. So the superintendent would supervise you. Is that correct?
They were the people who had previously given me evaluations. Yeah.
Okay. And then you would supervise, again, I don't need names, but what staff would you evaluate?
I supervised and evaluated teaching staff and paraprofessional staff. So not like office staff, but like instructional assistants and things that supported learning with students.
And so did you do teacher evaluations?
Yeah,
When Jeff
I did both.
Okay. When
Oh,
Jeff Peterson was a principal, did he do teacher evaluations?
yeah. I always
How?
did.
No,
Go
you
ahead.
go ahead.
I was just going to say, in my role, I was always responsible for all the paras and then the staff that were on year 1 and 2 of the eval cycle. And then the principal, so Jeff or whoever else was principal, always did the summary year 1, which is just the group 3 or year 3. We call them like group 1, 2, 3.
All right. I'm just going to flesh that out a little bit so the judge knows what we're talking about. You were
Sure.
responsible for paraprofessional staff, which is non-certified staff who assist in classrooms, among other things, right?
Correct.
And then it sounds like you evaluated staff who were in year 1 and 2, strike that. You evaluated teaching staff who were in year 1 and year 2 of a 3-year teaching cycle. Do I have that right?
Correct.
And then Jeff Peterson, when he was the principal, was responsible for evaluating certified staff who were in their third year of a 3-year cycle. Is that right?
Correct. Yes.
Very good. You were, one moment. Were you ever present when Jeff Peterson and Mike Garvey got into what you may consider to be a heated conversation or a heated discussion?
Like an argument or something? No.
Yeah, maybe voices elevated, things like that.
No,
Okay.
not that I remember.
Who replaced you, if you know, at the Raymond School District?
Oh, I feel bad because I'm not remembering her name right now, but I actually like had some contact with her when she started to help her learn the ropes, you know. I'm so sorry. I don't remember her name off the top of my head. I believe she's still there.
Did you tell the employee who replaced you that she needed to make sure she did not do the work of other administrators?
Yeah.
Did you feel while you were a district administrator at Raymond and during the time that Mr. Peterson worked there, did you feel at times that you were doing Mr. Peterson's work?
Yeah. I don't know. That's hard to say because those lines were never clearly delineated. And that was historically my experience in my role when I worked with Mr. Schmidt, the previous principal, and when the two other principals were job sharing. And I think that was a byproduct of the shift in the administrative structure without any clear oversight or guidance on the board's part.
Okay. I think I'm done, Abby. Give me one more minute. Going back to the meeting with Ms. Keller and Art Benhack, at the conclusion of that, did it appear to you that Ms. Keller was satisfied that whatever link she thought may have been in the district's curriculum was not there?
I'm not sure.
Sure.
I don't feel
That's
like,
fine. No, you don't
okay.
have to. You've answered my question. Thank you. Do you believe that parents of students in the Raymond School District have a right to review curriculum taught to their children, to the students at Raymond, to assure that it aligns with their personal beliefs?
Well, all parents have a right to review all curriculum. That's universal.
Okay, Ms. Ramon, those are all the questions I have. Thank you.
Yeah, I just have a couple of follow-up questions, not a lot, I guess. So the 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 SEL curriculum review that you were just talking about with Ms. Lubinsky there.
Mhm.
Were you asked to give a presentation to the school at a school board meeting about the SEL curriculum?
Yes, I believe that may have been after. I know that was in the spring because it was baseball season.
Okay, and can you tell me a little bit about that presentation?
So actually, I wasn't necessarily asked. At first, the school counselor was asked, and she was uncomfortable with the situation, which was fine. Public speaking wasn't something she was comfortable with, so I said, well, I can put something together, and then we just kind of collaborated a little bit to make sure that I was accurately representing things. Because she lived in it more than I did, right? So I didn't want to misspeak because she lived in it more than I did. But yeah, so I did at one point have to give a presentation that gave an overview of, I kind of just grounded it in what is social emotional learning, and why we teach social emotional learning. I mean, there's standards, but also like, um, we're dealing with children who are learning and growing, and not all learning is academic. And then reviewed the kind of like high level overview design of the curriculum, and what it looked like. Because obviously, when you have a 4K through 8th grade building, things look very different in a classroom for 4-year-olds and 8th graders. And reviewed just how it was structured in the delivery, and overview of the sort of unit. They're not called units, but like unit topics at each level.
Okay. And do you remember any questions or accusations from the public during that presentation?
Yeah, I mean, I believe several people. Kind of one unique thing at Raymond, which always made me really uncomfortable, is that the audience was allowed to openly engage in the board meetings, which is a violation of how meetings are statutorily supposed to be run. And then,
Your Honor, hold on. I need to move to strike that this witness's lay opinion that the meeting is supposed to
lay.
be statutorily, lay just means fact,
Oh, okay. I
Abby.
thought you were
It means
implying I was lay.
non-expert. No. I'm sorry.
Oh,
Let me restate. So
Ms. Ramon, I know you're engaged in this process, but when the council is speaking and making an objection, you can't talk. It's just a
Oh,
part
sorry.
of the hearing process. That's okay.
I would
Okay.
move to strike the testimony that something the board has done or is doing violates state statute. That is a legal conclusion that is not appropriate for a fact witness.
Uh, any objections to that? Any response to that, rather, Attorney Haslam?
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
I'm inclined to agree. I think I'm
okay.
not going to base any of my decision on
Yeah.
a legal conclusion. This is a fact-finding hearing.
Yeah, I don't have any problem with striking that comment, and I'll
Okay.
even
All right.
be more specific. Do you remember? I guess I just want to get back to where we were before that because we got a little off track. So I asked about community comments during that, and you were telling a story, and you included a part about the legal about the violated meetings, and but was there were you gonna move on to another part of that that didn't involve
Yeah,
that?
so
Okay.
I guess I was going to say I do remember that there was a lot of audience engagement, and again, it's a weird situation because technically I'm not supposed to address people, but yet they're addressing me and things like that. There was a particular exchange I know, where a parent had shared that their child had told them something about what was happening in a classroom and what was being taught in the curriculum, and I knew that information to be false. I also knew that the child of like that parent's child wasn't even in the grade level that they were referring to, so I'm not sure how they arrived at that information. And it was very frustrating because it was evident that the parent believed, their child, which is fine. However, wasn't open to the possibility that maybe their child wasn't purposely saying something that wasn't true, but maybe their child was misinterpreting information they heard from other students who were in a class because that child wasn't in that class. So um,
Do you
that was
remember
very
what?
frustrating because we were missing the point of the entire presentation.
Do you remember what the information or the concern was that parent was talking about?
Yeah, that parent was upset and concerned that we were teaching about being transgender.
Okay, and that's not something you were teaching, right?
No.
Okay, and was that parent named Keith Kenston?
Castinson, yes. He was the village
Asmussen.
president at the time, I think, or on the board or something.
Okay, and you also said Ms. Lubinski asked you a question about whether Ms. Keller was satisfied with your after the meeting about the SEL curriculum, and you said you weren't sure, and it seems like you wanted to add something to that. Do you want to tell us what you wanted to add? Do you recall that question?
Sure. Yeah. I guess the reason I wasn't sure is because she wanted to have another meeting to continue to look at materials and look at the younger grade materials, which was fine. I mean, it's just her initial concern that brought the meeting to the table had been addressed, so I wasn't sure what the purpose was, and she didn't have children in those grades. Again, not that I'm like trying to hide anything, but these things are time consuming. So, out of respect for time, it was like, okay, well, um, I feel like we landed in a good place, but now I feel like we haven't, and we're going to continue to look for something, but I'm not even sure what we're looking for or why we're looking for something.
Okay, I understand. And last question for you: did Dr. Garvey ever do an evaluation of you?
And me, Not that I recall. No, I don't think so. Unless there's a document somewhere. I'm not trying to lie. I'm just saying I don't remember. I don't think so.
Okay,
But
that's it.
maybe he did and it exists. I don't know.
Thank you. That's all I have.
I have two follow-up questions. Two follow-up areas. When did you announce or provide the district with notice that you were going to resign from Raymond School District?
It's the end of July.
So it was a pretty quick turnaround from your notice to the actual last day of your employment.
Well, yeah, because I had already started a new contract year and I wasn't going to fulfill that contract. So then
I'm not being judgmental. I truly just want to know how much
Oh.
notice you gave them. A couple weeks?
no, that's not typical. No.
Okay, I'm confused. I apologize. So
When in any role, this is different than like regular, I would say non-education employment. When you resign, you're done. Like my contract was done.
no, I understand. I'll take
Oh.
responsibility for this. When did you let the school know that you would be resigning from Raymond?
At the end of July.
Okay. And then your date of resignation was a week or two later or days later? You tell us.
No, it was at the point when I gave my resignation.
Okay. You resigned kind of effective immediately.
Right. That's how
helpful.
that works. Yeah.
And is your testimony, you don't know one way or the other whether Mr. Garvey evaluated your performance? Is that what you said?
I guess my testimony is I don't think he did.
Okay.
I would say I'm 90% certain.
Okay, that's fine. Were you evaluated by the prior, strike that, you worked before Mr. Garvey started, you worked under a different superintendent, right?
Correct.
Who was that?
There were a few. Steve Harder was the most like previous one.
So we'll just do with Steve Harder because he was the superintendent immediately prior to Mr. Garvey, correct?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Did he evaluate your performance in a written format?
Yeah, I actually do remember that because the computer system that we used for evaluations was a little nuanced and he had trouble getting in. So I do remember assisting him.
Last question on that topic. When was your last evaluation that Mr. Harder, conducted?
I'm trying to think. He left. I mean, the evaluations, like timelines, they at the end of the school year, not like a calendar year. So it would have been, he left in the summer, probably May, June-ish of that year.
Of the year he left?
Yeah.
All right, very good. And then this one's going to be an easy one, what I call a softball, Abby. You referenced a Keith Castenson, I may be botching that, a citizen who made a comment at a board meeting. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
Okay. You talked about a board member, and I want to be clear, was Mr. Castenson a school board member when he made that comment?
No.
What board was he a member of?
I think he was on the village board at the time, the village of Raymond.
Did he hold a title on the village board?
I think he did. I didn't live in Raymond, so I'm not 100% certain. I would have never seen it on like the ballot or anything, but I think he was president.
Okay. Those are all the questions I have, Ms. Ramon. Thank you.
Okay.
And I have nothing else. Thank you very much for your time today. I appreciate it.
Thank you, Ms. Ramon. I appreciate it. You're excused from the hot seat.
Thanks.
I have my witness was having a little trouble logging in, so maybe just a 5-minute coffee break, and then we'll come back. And no more. I mean, she should be able to resolve it pretty quickly.
That's fine. We can take a 5-minute break. Who is the next witness?
Leah Glasheen, and if she can't come on for any kind of technology issues, I'll get Katie Fueling to come on.
What's, can you spell the witness's name for me, please?
Glasheen is Glash.
The whole name again, and just, it was,
Oh, it's Leah, Leeah. Glasheen is her second name, Glasheen.
E-E-N?
Correct.
Okay.
Oh, verified.
Okay, and there's two E's in Leah as well, huh?
Yes, there's no H though in Leah. My fault. It was just Leea. My apologies.
All right, I'm gonna add that to my list.
Just so I understand, Wes, are we waiting for her to come, or do you want to take like a 5-minute coffee break?
I think it might be a
Yeah,
good idea to
take-
take a quick coffee restroom
Yes.
break, and that way I can call her up and see what exactly the issue she texted me
Sounds
about is,
good.
and if I could help her resolve it. Sound good? All right, I'm gonna sign off now. Okay.
All right.
All right, I've got my witness in the waiting room, and she's actually her name is in the waiting room is Deborah Glasheen, but
Does she go by Leah?
I believe that's correct. Yes.
Okay. Do you see the additional? I don't know if we ever got Mr. Peterson, and good Lord. Let me let me do this. Hold on.
Yeah,
Oh,
I had Mr. Peterson step into my office when he was either knocked out or whatever happened, so
Oh, okay.
he was able to hear everything just fine.
Okay, okay.
But
Fantastic.
we
That's
still
great.
let him in.
Yeah, I'm just where did trying to find the name. The name like there it is. It moves on me once I hit admit. Now I got to do the camera and the mic. Okay. Okay, so that his machine should be ready to go.
Hello.
Hello, Ms. Glasheen. Do council, do you see that others, there's some others that throughout the day, we get people trying to join. I'm willing to try to admit people during the breaks. I'm not going to be constantly monitoring during
No,
the
but
hearing, but
I do have Katie Fueling is my next witness, and I just told her when we were having a delay
okay, so
to come in and be ready to. So don't admit her yet.
I will not admit her.
Yeah.
JG, Lee, Toll, and M. I can admit those folks.
Yeah,
I
no
believe
problem.
so.
Okay. Let me make sure the recorder's still going. I don't believe I turned it off. No. Okay, so let's go back on the record. We took a break, and as I understand it, we're continuing the complainant's case. The next witness is Leah Glasheen, and just to clarify, your name on the screen comes up as Deborah. Is that your actual name, but you go by Leah, or what's the explanation for that?
My legal name is Deborah Lee Glasheen, and I go by Leah.
Okay, that's perfect. And I'd just like to swear you in before you begin your testimony, Ms. Glasheen. So can you raise your right hand? Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Okay, thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Glasheen. How are you?
I'm well, thank you.
So I understand you worked at Raymond School as a teacher. Is that correct?
I did.
And what year did you start working at Raymond School?
2023 in November.
November of 2023. And when you started there, was Mr. Peterson still working at the school?
He was not.
Okay. And the reason I'm calling you here today is to ask you just one question, and that's whether you believe you experienced discrimination at Raymond School.
I did.
Your Honor, I need to be heard on this. Ms. Glasheen,
It's not surprising that you were gonna. I anticipated your.
Ms.
Not-
Glasheen has an active ERD complaint against the district involving her specific employment. Her employment situation is entirely irrelevant. If we are going to go down into that, then I'm going to present a whole bunch of evidence as to why she claims her employment situation was not employment discrimination. That has nothing to do with the issues. I can give you the ERD case number if you'd like, Judge, but it's in the investigation phase.
And
I don't need the case number.
my response to that, Your Honor, is that I'm simply getting, for her testimony's sake, her belief that discrimination continued the very next year after Mr. Peterson left, and I believe it is of some value, and it's relevant.
Well, it still remains to be seen. I haven't decided yet whether discrimination has occurred. First of all, the way you pose that, and secondly, I, I mean, unless there's some nexus of factual nexus of overlap in the two cases, I just the broad brush conclusion that she believes discrimination occurred. I tend to agree with counsel. I don't think that really helps me decide the issues. I mean, again, the relevance goes to facts that are of consequence in the determination of the action, whether or not the evidence that you're providing makes a certain fact of consequence more or less probable than would be the case in the absence of the evidence. And I'm not sure what facts her evidence, her conclusion would go to.
I think it would just go to a pattern of discrimination, but I do understand the concern, and I'll respect your decision, Your Honor.
I haven't ruled, but I'm just I guess
Whatever that decision may be.
I guess I'll sustain the objection. I mean, if you had specific questions that are germane to the facts of this case that you want to propound to this witness, have at it.
Your Honor, I'm simply looking for a pattern of discrimination, and if you think that is of no value, then I'll accept your sustaining of the objection. But on the record, I just do want to say that.
But I mean, again, just her opinion that she's been discriminated against with nothing more, that doesn't give me any facts to establish a pattern of discrimination.
I understand what you're asking. No, I mean, of course, I asked a very broad question to begin with, but I mean, what I want to really establish is her experience with the school board and the administration that they put in place, and that was the purpose of calling her as a witness. And then I feel like that would establish that this school board put administration in place.
And I don't know what that looks like because I haven't heard any specific questions, I guess.
Okay. Can I ask one specific question and we'll see where it goes?
You can, yes.
Okay. Ms. Glasheen, did you have any experience with the school administration? Strike that. Do you recall who was on the school board while you were a teacher?
I don't know all the names of the people on the school board. I know that Audrey, I don't know how to pronounce her last name. Audrey Hay and John. No, I don't have a list of the names of the people on the school board.
Okay, Audrey Kostich was Audrey Kostich the president of the school board?
Yes, I believe so.
Okay, and so did you have any interactions with her?
I did. I had, I believe, 2 interactions. One was completely irrelevant about her granddaughter in my Japanese class. The other one is when they fired me from Raymond, when I went to the school board meeting and told them I wasn't resigning. And then they said they accepted a resignation that I didn't give, and essentially fired me from my job.
Your Honor, I'm going to move to strike all of this testimony as irrelevant. In addition, I am moving that any marginal relevance is substantially overcome by all of the enumerated factors in the rules of evidence, including but not limited to the factors that go to wasting time, judicial resources. I have a 6-page position statement that I can go through with this witness to talk about the circumstances that led to her resignation, which has no consequence or assistance to you in deciding Mr. Peterson's claim. And so I am moving to strike this witness's testimony.
Well, I also think that, the judge, you could always move to exclude it, but you could always exclude it later, but you could also hear what she has to say. I mean, I do think it establishes.
We're concerned about how many witnesses we have yet to, hear. And as I understand it, I think there was a scheduling order there was included as part of that order was that there was not going to be an extension, which I've already probably violated the previous scheduling order, right, by allowing you additional time. So at least I think I have discretion to modify that in real time if I want. But the point is, I just don't think that that what she experienced, unless it's related to events that happened involving Mr. Peterson that impacted either his unpaid leave or the termination, which are the two sort of major adverse actions involved in this case. I just don't think it's going to be the shorthand helpful for
I
me to
completely
decide the
understand.
issues.
I completely
So
understand, Your
I
Honor. My
think,
next witness is ready to go. So
okay, so
we can move
I'll
on.
allow whatever was in the record to, the objections can go to wait. Though they can be, her remarks can be in the record, but again, I don't see them as really impacting my decision here. So,
Okay, I understand, and we'll move on to my next witness. Ms. Glasheen, thank you very much for taking the time today to be here. I
Oh,
appreciate
okay.
it.
Hold on, wait a minute. I need clarity on whether the witness's testimony that she was fired stands in this record, because if it does, I don't believe that to be true. I will be cross-examining this witness and I will be recalling witnesses to
well,
testify
Attorney
that that's
Hausman, do
not
you want
what
to just,
happened.
are you okay with withdrawing
Yes, Your Honor, I'm okay with that.
okay,
All right.
so we'll just withdraw the question and the answer from the record, okay?
Okay,
Very
that's
good.
fine. That's fine. Once
All
again,
right.
Ms. Glasheen, thank you for coming.
Thank
Okay.
you. I can leave?
Yeah, thank you for setting a
Thank
precedent
you.
as to how fast all the rest of the witnesses are going to go. Facetious, obviously, for those watching. So, in case you're not clear. Okay. So, let me just make a quick note. Witness testimony withdrawn.
And I believe Ms. Fueling is in the waiting room.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Here I can see. That's okay. Just give me 1 second. I want to get my notes ready. I'm assuming that what pops up on Teams is the correct spelling, Fueling.
Looks like FEU, and I'm not
Did
sure.
okay, huh, yeah, I guess my eyes didn't see that right, Feuling, yep.
Although in the witness list, it is spelled FUE. So I honestly don't know. We may just have to
Well,
ask the witness.
sure, okay,
I'm sorry, I didn't, I
It's
believe you asked me.
It's FEU. It's a unique spelling.
Got it.
give me 1 moment here, I'm just gonna get her. I had to start where'd that go? A new witness list page. Ran out of room in my witness list page, so I'm starting a new one. Which I did get ready during the break, so we can go in just a moment here. Just want to make sure I save it. Oh, wait a minute, hold on. I'm sorry, I just don't want to screw this up. Give me a moment. Yeah, I think that's right. Okay. All right, let's submit it. I'm gonna go into. Let's see. Ms. Fueling, can you hear me? I think is she muted maybe? Let me see here. Hmm. Believe I did what I need to do on mine. Let me just see again. Okay, I can't. What if I hit prioritize? Okay, so Ms. Fueling, I'm hoping you can hear me. First of all, I think your microphone is muted. You have to go to the top and unmute. But I'm not getting a camera. I'm not getting you on camera. I don't see you. And I don't know, Attorney Haslam, do you want to call her? Oh, is he on the phone? Okay, yeah.
Hey, Judge, I'm on the phone with her right now and she's trying to turn on her camera and mic and it's not allowing her. Do we make her a presenter?
That shouldn't be necessary. It's, I, others don't have to do that. And she's, um, let me go, just give me a second here. Let me hover over her little window here. I mean, I did what I need to do on my end. I enabled her camera and I enabled her mic. So, um,
Hey, Judge, I'm going to try and have her slide into her cell phone really quickly and see if that works better for some
then
reason.
she better sign off on, I was just informed yesterday, this echo problem is if, it may be when there's two devices being used simultaneously. So,
Yes, I'll make sure that she turns off the other device when she turns on the phone.
okay, we can try that.
Your Honor, I have another witness who came in to the waiting room while Ms. Fueling can deal with this issue. Perhaps we can
That
call
was going to
Steve
be my suggestion that we move
Wallner.
on to the next one. So,
Okay, so we can take
So-
Ms. Fueling out of this and put Mr. Wallner up, and he's going to be really quick.
Yeah, we got to
Okay.
remove Katie Fueling then, appears to, at least to me, to still be an attendee.
Yeah,
okay,
I agree.
yeah, and
All
I've
right,
got,
Katie,
give
what
me
we're gonna
one
do is
moment.
this.
Give me one moment. I got to adjust my witness list. Okay, so the next one is that, well, who is it? Because I've got several names up now on the.
I think
who's
it's Steve. It's Steve. He's on mute. I'll tell you, his next witness is Steve Wallner.
Okay, thank you. So I
Yeah.
can admit Mr. Wallner then.
Yeah, go ahead and admit him. Hopefully he can show
Okay.
up.
Sorry, I was instructing Ms. Fueling on a few things she could try to do to resolve that issue.
Okay, and then there's a Dana Marty. Is that somebody that's not a non-witness, correct? I'll admit these folks that are waiting to get in.
Yeah, I think that's okay.
Okay. Okay, so now I have to do the same drill here for allowing camera and mic for Mr. Wallner. Okay, so Mr. Wallner, this is Judge Carlson. I'm hoping you can hear me. I don't see you. I see it looks like you're on our template here, but you need to remove the mute button, click on the mute button at the top of your screen. Also, I don't see see an image of you, so I don't think the camera feature is working. I've enabled it on my end. So I'm going to remove Ms. Fueling here. Or I'll do this prioritize video again, just to see if that has any impact. Not sure what's going on because I've been doing the same thing to admit everybody over and over again. So that I tend to infer from that pattern of success that it's on not on my end, unless I'm wrong. I don't.
I don't see him.
Did he disappear completely?
He looks like to me like he disappeared. Maybe he's trying to get back in.
Yeah, it could be. And that might not be a bad strategy.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, he's now in the waiting. He's waiting in the lobby, Judge. Maybe, hopefully, we can get him in here.
Just popped up here.
The only other thing I can think of is to make them a presenter while they testify.
Let me
I don't
try
know.
this first. Let me
Okay.
allow camera
Yes.
and allow mic.
All right, he can see and hear Lori.
Oh, he's coming.
Yeah,
All
I
right,
got it. I just had to sign in differently.
great.
Hey, Steve, just out of curiosity, if we have other witnesses that we have that problem, what did you have to do differently?
Well, so
Because we've had a couple witnesses with that problem and I want to share with them how you got in if we have it again.
I think it depends on, so, right, I have my work profile, which is
Yeah.
tied to a Teams. I have my personal profile tied to Teams. I think it's just a matter of how many different
Okay.
profiles you have. And my personal one, it won't let me through. I don't
Okay.
know why.
That's good to, if we have other witnesses, we can have them try a different profile. I don't know. Just an idea.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt.
I'm going to be candid. All of that meant nothing to me. So, that's not to say it's not, I'm sure you probably are onto something. I just don't understand it. But anyway, okay, well, let's move on here. Again, I'm just going to make sure we're still recording. Yeah. Okay, so let's continue with the hearing. We've had some technical issues, but let's go back on record, I guess, and matter of Jeff Peterson versus Raymond School District. And the next, we're continuing the complainant's case. Next witness is Steve Wallner, as I understand it. Last name spelled Wallner. Is that correct, Mr. Wallner?
That is correct.
And it shows up on the screen as Steven. Is that your name?
Yeah, as recorded on birth certificate, it's Stephen.
Okay.
But I go by Steve.
You go by Steve. Okay, fair enough. So, Mr. Wallner, I'm just going to swear you in before your testimony begins. If you could raise your right hand. Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
Yes.
Thank you very much. Your witness, Attorney Haslam.
Good morning, Mr. Wallner. So you were a school board at Raymond School while Mr. Peterson was the principal, is that right?
I was on the school board yes.
And how long, what years were you in the school board for?
Geez, now you're making me think. 2006, 7 to about 2022.
Okay, so when you left, he was still the principal of Raymond School, correct?
Yes.
Okay, and you were there when he was hired also then, right?
Yes.
And were you part of the decision to renew his contract after his first year?
Yes.
Okay, and did you feel that he had performed well in that first year that you were there, that the entire time that you were on a school board member?
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, now I have a question. When you left the school board, did you write a letter to Jeff Peterson and the entire school board?
I wrote a letter to the school board including Jeff Peterson.
Oh, okay. I'm going to share what I have, Bates marked C018, and I'm going to enter it in as the next exhibit, which I have is going to be C88. Is that right for everybody?
Give me one moment. I got to switch screens and pull up the exhibit list. I think that's right, but I just want to make sure because I was at the end of one list and I'm beginning another. Yeah, C88 would be the next hearing exhibit number. And could you repeat again the Bates we're using?
The Bates is C018.
Okay, and give me a shorthand description.
And this is going to be Wallner letter to school board, or email to school board rather.
Yep.
Okay, Mr. Wallner, I've had this up for a few minutes while we were going through that. Did you get a chance to look over this document?
Sure.
And is this a copy of that email we were talking about that you sent to the school board?
Yep. This is a document I sent.
And you sent this as you were leaving to say thank you?
Yep.
Okay. And now right here, I see, were you asking the school board to be inclusive?
Yes.
Okay. And
yes.
were you encouraging school board members to think about might be hurt or silenced by policy decisions?
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Were you encouraging board members to be nonpartisan?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. And why did you feel the need to tell the new school board this?
Well, one, I had been on the school board for quite a while, and when I first came on the school board, exiting school board member reminded me that you may be elected, but your responsibility is to represent all, right? And you also have your own personal politics, but that as you approach in a nonpartisan position, you really need to be as global and open-minded as possible. And I felt that I needed to share that same with the board, as board meetings and just in general, things became a little more hostile
Okay.
at board meetings coming out of COVID and stuff. There's a lot of opinion, and things were becoming hostile.
Was it your opinion that the new school board members that had come on the year you were leaving had an anti-LGBTQ agenda?
Objection, that's leading. It also calls for speculation.
I asked him his opinion, Your
And
Honor.
it's leading.
Yeah, I mean, if
Isn't
we
your
can avoid
opinion
the
that it's
leading,
leading?
the leading questions, I hope, can you restructure that? Because I hope we
Certainly.
don't have this pattern throughout the remainder of the hearing. It's just, I mean, to the extent you can restructure it, that would be great. The other thing is, just to remind council, we're not bound by the rules of evidence other than those, what is specifically enumerated in 227.45 sub 1. So, I think I may be able to allow leading questions, but keep in mind that if your case is, we get to briefing, if your case is based, proposed findings of fact are based on leading questions, I'm going to take that into account in the weight to give to the evidence.
I understand, Your Honor. I will clean that question up. Is okay? I'll withdraw.
All right.
Okay. So I'm just going to ask you, Mr. Warner, like, what concerns did you have with the new school board?
Mm-hmm. So as I state in this document, Raymond's a great community, right? And as much as we'd like our students to remain in a community of 3,000 residents, we know that's not the reality, right? And when our students or the students of Raymond are going to be interacting with people from around the world, whether they like it or not, because we're a true world economy. And what that means is, someone may not share your religious beliefs. Someone may not share your thoughts on racism, sexism, homophobism, or any of those other things. But we still have to function in a wide world. And some of the rhetoric that I believe I heard as I was exiting the board, I felt would not expose the students of Raymond or the citizens of Raymond, future citizens of Raymond, to, the global world that they actually have to function in, right? I often heard things, where we have to be accepting of others regardless of our personal beliefs, or we have a responsibility to educate all regardless of our personal beliefs. So that's really where this comes from and if you ask me, Steve, point to an exact example, I won't do that. I will say that the kind of the feel at the end of my term was, let's build up hostility. I don't like you, so I'm going to attack you directly and indirectly, right? And I'd say that goes across a number of spectrums. Could be because I don't like your religious beliefs. It could be because I don't like what I think is your sex or sexuality. Could be that I don't like the color of your skin. Okay. So that was the overall feeling I was getting from when I was exiting the board. And I thought it, because I believe we do work in a global world, regardless if we're Little Raymond or if we're big New York City. And I thought that's important to remind the board members of.
Okay, well, thank you very much for your testimony today. Ms. Lubinsky may have a few questions for you.
I do. Mr. Waller, can you see and hear me okay?
Yes.
Thank you for your service. Being a school board member is a thankless job, so thank you for your service. Can you tell the judge who was on the school board with you most recently prior to the last day you were on the board?
The exact names of everyone?
To the extent you can remember, yes. If you can't, I'll take your best memory.
So let's see. Audrey, Gwen,
Can you give complete names, first and last?
first and last names.
You can remember. And don't feel embarrassed
I'm
if you
sitting
can't,
at the
'cause-
table and I'm trying to go around the space. And
That's fine.
in a given year, I'm dealing with thousands of names just because of the position I hold. But first and last names of every person at the table, no, I can't recall exactly. I'd have to go through
Just do
papers or something like that.
a list, I guess. Just go through the list and whoever you can remember.
All right, let me just, I'm going to make this easier on you.
What's the point?
Well, I don't have to tell you what my point is. So I do have a point, and we'll get there, Steve, okay? So for what, you said that Audrey Kostich was on the board when you ended your term in April of 2022. Is that correct?
That would be a correct statement.
Do you recall for how long you and Audrey served together?
I believe a little over a year.
All right. You, Gwen Keller, you served with her. Is that correct?
Gwen would have been the new board member.
Okay, so to be clear, Gwen became a board member at or around the time you ended on the board. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. A couple other names I'll just kind of go through. I want to make sure to understand who you served with and who you didn't. And I apologize, one moment. Did you serve on the board contemporaneously, meaning at the same time, with Amy Helvig?
No, I don't believe so. I'd have to check a record. I'm positive in this process you all have the listing of board members from each year. No, not off the top of my head. I can't recall.
Did you serve contemporaneously, meaning at the same time, with Amanda Falacci?
Can't recall.
Did you serve at the same time on the board with Janelle Wise?
Yes, Janelle and I overlapped.
Do you have a sense for, was it 1 year overlap, 2 year, more than that?
I think she had another year after I left.
My question was a little different. How long did you overlap? So meaning how long did you two contemporaneously serve at the same time?
I cannot verify the exact amount of time we overlapped. If someone has it in the records, I could probably verify.
Okay. Thank you. If you don't know, you can tell me. Okay. Thank you.
Yeah.
What was that person's name? The last one person we were just
Janelle
discussing.
Wise, W-I-S-E. She will be a witness today, assuming we get there. I think she's going to be the next witness.
Okay.
Oh, okay. I want to show you what has been previously marked as complaint exhibit R1. One moment, sir. Bear with me, Mr. Walden. Do you see on your screen at the top, it says Raymond School District number 14, contract for professional services 2021-2023.
Yep.
And I'll represent to you, if you could accept my representation, this has already been admitted to evidence, and it is the contract between Jeff Peterson and the school board for the school district of Raymond. Can you accept my representation that that's what this document is?
Yeah,
All right, I just want to go to the signatures, one moment.
You're doing that, do you have the hearing exhibit number for this?
Yeah, it's hearing exhibit R1.
Oh, so that was actually, that's not the Bates, that's actually the exhibit number, R1.
Correct, correct.
Okay,
All right, and just, it looks to me that your signature is above the clerk, typed out clerk. Is that your signature, Mr. Wallner?
yep, I can verify that's my signature.
So you were the clerk of the school board in or around April of 2021.
That is correct.
All right, I just want to talk to you a little bit about one section of this contract. Was this, to the best of your memory, the contract that governed Mr. Peterson when he started his job as the principal at Raymond?
From my understanding, yes. From what I can see, yes.
All right, very good. The contract, as you'll note at the top, is between the school board of the Raymond School District and Mr. Peterson. Do you see that?
Yes.
And were you part of the negotiations concerning what would be contained in this contract, like the terms and conditions of it, or no?
I'm trying to think. All the board was aware, but did I physically talk to Mr. Peterson? I don't believe I physically talked to Mr. Peterson on that. I think it was.
But by signing this as the clerk, would you agree that this contract contained the terms and conditions of Mr. Peterson's employment with the district?
Yes, it would be normal protocol for the clerk to be one of the signatories on a contract such as this.
Were you aware that Mr. Peterson had worked as a teacher for the Raymond School District some 20 years, plus or minus, earlier than when he started as the principal?
Yes.
And did you strike that? Who was the superintendent of the Raymond School District at the time Mr. Peterson's first contract was negotiated and entered into?
This contract or the
Yes.
one 20 years prior?
Thank you. This one.
So it would have been Steve Harder, I believe.
And Steve Harder was the district administrator at that time, correct?
Yes, I believe so. From
All
my
right.
memory, if my memory is serving me correctly, that would be true.
Your memory is correct. Well, and he'll testify later. Okay. So here is my question. I have a section up. It is enumerated. These pages aren't enumerated. So strike that question. Under the phrase indirect compensation, do you see that on this screen?
Yeah,
And the first paragraph A, I'll just read it into the record. It says the administrator is entitled to 10 sick days annually. Unused sick leave is accumulated up to a total of 70 days. Sick leave beyond 70 days does not accumulate. Did I read that accurately?
from what I see on the screen, yes.
All right, bear with me. I don't mean to scroll while you're reading. Do you see under the phrase complete agreement and agreement construction? Do you see that?
Yes.
And I'm going to read into the record the first sentence. It says the parties understand that this document contains the entire agreement. Do you see that?
Yes, as you do.
All right. So, Mr. Wallner, as the clerk of the school board who signed this agreement, was it your expectation that any terms relating to sick days any agreements between the parties as to sick days would be memorialized in this agreement.
Wait, say that again.
Sure. Was it your expectation as the clerk of the school board who signed this agreement that any agreements between the parties concerning Mr. Peterson's allocation of sick days would be put in this agreement?
Well, or if you're talking about a change in sick days or a change in PTO or whatever term you want to use, it would either be in the agreement and or if it needed to be modified, I would assume there'd be an addendum to the agreement. Is that the question you're asking?
Yeah, I think you've answered it fairly. The superintendent of the Raymond School District did not have authority to give, strike that. I'll get that with the superintendent.
I
Let
was
me
going
look
to
at my,
say, I don't think that involves me.
yeah, I don't disagree. I'll get that in through another witness. Okay. After you left the board in or around April of 2022, you did not participate in any closed sessions of the school board, correct?
Correct. They would have that on record in the closed session minutes, which you should be able to obtain.
Okay, again, Mr. Wellner, thank you for your service. I appreciate it. I don't have any further questions.
I have no questions either. Thank you for being here, Mr. Walner.
All right.
Thank you very much, Mr. Wallner. We appreciate it.
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
You too.
So I see Katie is still in the waiting room. We could try her really quickly if we could agree.
We
Well, she's-
stop sharing the document, maybe?
Yeah, sorry about that. Thank you. She's going to be a quick witness, right? Because we're now at 11:30. You're on mute.
I have exactly 10 questions for her and they're all
Okay.
pretty direct.
Yeah, that's fine.
Well, 10 can be, the way we're going can be not quick, but we'll try it. Where, if we can get her. I'm not seeing,
I do see a Katie feeling.
oh, okay. Yeah. Here. Sorry. I was looking at the wrong part of the screen.
Actually, I misrepresented that. There's actually 15 questions because I have a subpart. So 15, I think should be fine. I'll be as quick as I possibly can. I promise.
We'll just give it a shot. We'll see if we can even get her in the room here,
Okay.
in the team's room,
Okay.
since we had difficulty. Okay, same drill here. Let me allow camera. Mike. Okay, so I see her in the template, it looks like, and where's the, let me see if I,
There we go.
Ah, we might have a winner.
Hello.
give me one moment. I gotta get my notes set here before we start. And your name appears on Teams, Ms. Fueling, spelled Feuling. Is that
That is
correct?
correct.
Okay? Katie, go by Katie.
Yes.
Almost ready here. Okay, Ms. Fueling, before we begin your testimony, I'd like to swear you in. Could you raise your right hand and do you promise that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Feeling. So
Morning.
you were a teacher at Raymond School while Mr. Peterson was the principal, is that right?
Yes.
And were you also a teacher there when Mr. Garvey became the superintendent?
Yes, I was.
And did you have a meet and greet with Mr. Garvey when he first arrived at the school?
Yes, I did.
Can you tell me about that?
To be honest, it was very intimidating. Me and a coworker went in and sat down, and right from the get-go, he did get our names, but didn't ask us any questions about us or our experience at school or things that we felt the district needed or anything along those lines. He more went into a diatribe about himself and his past. And it was really intimidating because he even used the words, I've been brought into districts to clean house. I've non-renewed many, I've fired many. It seemed more of a scare tactic than a get to know you as we were led to believe it would be.
Okay. And did you ever hear about someone named Art Binhack in the community?
Yes, he was definitely not a fan of
Now,
what was happening.
Ms. Feeling,
Yeah.
we got to move quickly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to ask, if I ask you a yes or no question, try your best. If I ask an
Okay.
open-ended question, you can go on about it. And I just want to lay that out really quickly. So
Okay.
you knew who he was. Did you ever
Yes.
hear about him passing out some kind of a flyer or letter at the village hall that asked people to attend the Raymond School Board meeting?
For the record only, I'm just going to object on hearsay. I understand hearsay is admissible, but I'm doing my job.
Yep.
Yes, I did.
Well,
Okay,
well,
just-
it's, I'll overrule it, but that'll go to wait. So go ahead.
Okay. Did you actually see that letter or the flyer that was being passed out?
I didn't see a physical copy of it, but I did see a screenshot on an email, yes.
Okay. And so you received it via a screenshot that someone sent you.
Correct.
And when you received that screenshot, did it have to, was it telling people to go to a school board meeting on a specific date and time?
Yes, it was. I believe it was the 29th of August.
Okay. And would that have been the year 2023?
Correct.
And do you know if the school board meetings have been officially posted when when you received a copy of this, or not a copy, but rather a screenshot of this?
No, I was not aware of any upcoming board meeting on that day.
Okay. And I'm gonna ask you a few questions about Mr. Peterson's performance as principal. Did Mr. Peterson hold staff accountable?
Yes, he did.
Did he improve instructional practices?
Yes, absolutely. We needed it.
Did Mr. Peterson demonstrate ethics and professional norms?
Yes.
Okay. Going back to the letter and the school board meeting, you said that you hadn't seen any other notice other than that screenshot of Mr. Binhack's flyer that he was passing out. Is that correct?
Correct.
Did you go and check where the notice would have been?
I did not, but a coworker did and did inform me that there was nothing there.
So now we're at double hearsay, just for the record.
One here said, okay.
Well, all right, well, go to wait as well. Go ahead.
And I guess, is there anything you'd like to tell the judge about Peterson's performance as a principal?
I believe you hit it on the head when he held people accountable. He was an amazing principal in the fact that he was there for the kids. He knew most kids by name. He interacted with kids. Historically at Raymond School, we'd been through a number of principals who were just sit in their office and do their thing. And he was hands-on. He was in the lunchroom working with kids. He was always visible in the hallway. He provided professional development opportunities for our staff. I apologize, my dogs are going crazy in the background right now. Stop it. He provided lots of professional development. He really just wanted the best for the teachers and the students at Raymond.
Okay. And can you think of any reason why Peterson's contract was not renewed due to his performance as principal?
Objection, calls for speculation. She wasn't part of the decision-making. She's already given her lay opinion.
Well, I think as a teacher, if she saw something that would lead her to believe, that's what I'm asking, I guess.
Would it be satisfactory just to go at it? Did she have any concerns about his job performance?
Okay.
Is that
Did you have any?
okay?
Yeah, that's fine, Your Honor. Did you have did you have any concerns about Mr. Peterson's job performance?
I did not. I thought he was doing a great job.
Okay. Ms. Lubinsky may have a couple of questions for you, but I really want to thank you for coming in today.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Good morning, Ms. Fueling. Can you see and hear me?
I can.
I'll keep this short. How long did you work at Raymond?
I'm still at Raymond. This is my 29th year.
Would you consider yourself a veteran teacher?
I do.
And you were a strong supporter of Mr. Peterson, correct?
I was, yes.
Nothing, there's no judgment in that question. I just wanted to make sure it was clear.
Yes.
Did you read the HYA survey that indicated, and I'm paraphrasing, but there was a divide between veteran staff and newer staff concerning their views of Mr. Peterson?
I did read that survey, yes.
Okay. And did Mr. Peterson ever provide you with any gifts? And by gifts, I just mean, I'm not talking about something huge, but provide you with any gifts of any kind?
No.
Did you observe how Mr. Peterson treated professional, strike that. Did you observe how Mr. Peterson treated support staff?
I did.
Okay, what did you teach at Raymond?
Yes, I taught 3rd grade.
Got it. So you're in a third, were you one of the 2 3rd grade teachers?
Yes.
And I should have used the are because I know you just told me you're a current. I'm going to restate my question. Are you one of the 2 3rd grade teachers?
Yes, I am.
And so are you predominantly in your classroom teaching kids most of the school day?
Yes.
All right, very good. One moment, I'm just looking at my notes here. Did any staff members express concern to you at all about the adjustment of schedules based on seniority?
No.
Did you testify at the evidentiary hearing before the school board on December 6, 2023?
No, I did not.
Did you provide a letter of support for Mr. Peterson that you understood could or would be used at that hearing?
I did provide a letter of support. I don't recall if it was used or not.
Yeah, and that I appreciate. Those are all the questions I have, Ms. Fueling. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for your service to children.
Thank you.
Okay, I have no follow-ups. Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Ms. Fueling.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Okay, it's
Okay.
11:40. I was supposed to start my case at 11. I'd like to get started because I've got 3 witnesses on tap.
So we kind of, yeah, I agree. So we kind of had a plan B to maybe try and squeeze out a short witness in on one of those days when you needed to get your witness in. Is that okay? I'll tell them that. We're okay with that, right?
I don't object to that. I just want to get my case started.
Yeah, okay, so I understand and I agree with that. So please, we have one witness who's in the waiting room. Do not admit her in. I'll call her right now if we want to take a quick 5 minutes before you get
I
started.
can just exclude that witness.
Okay.
That would be Kelly. Is that Kelly Rasmussen?
Yeah, and I'll send out a text message.
I think
I
all I
imagine
have to
Lori
do
will want
is
5 minutes before we get started.
Yeah, I'm going to use the restroom. So you go ahead and let her know that she's going to be rescheduled, and we'll take 5.
Sounds
Okay,
great.
thank you, Your Honor.
All right. Attorney Haslam, I think you're muted. Maybe you're talking to somebody else, but just to let you know.
Yes, I was talking to somebody else. I appreciate
Okay,
it.
that's fine. That's,
I think I'm gonna need another minute because I don't see my witness in the waiting
I
room.
don't
So
see anything either.
I'm
So,
gonna call her. I did text her. She gave me a thumbs up. So let me just call her.
okay.
I'm gonna be here. I'm just gonna have my camera and mic off, but I'll be here, so I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, I think I see it's Janelle Wise. I think I see
Yes.
the name. I'm gonna try to admit her here.
And I also see Jay Peterson, which I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I think
assume is.
he must have been, I think he was in, maybe I have to readmit him, so I'll do that. All right, let's see. So now I gotta try to go down to Ms. Wise name here, off camera. Oh,
There she is.
well, hold on. I
See
don't
her.
know if I don't think I've allowed her mic yet. It's things are shifting, and I'm about to click on something, and it shifts position on me. So, and I think you're on your end, Ms. Wise. You're muted now. You're not. Okay. Can you say something?
Can you
Can you
hear
hear-
me?
Yes. Okay.
Yay!
Great. Okay. So, last step before we proceed, just make double check. Yep. Still recording. Okay. Everybody set?
Yes.
Okay, so let's go back on the record after a break. As I understand it, we are now commencing the respondent's case in chief in the matter of Jeffrey Peterson versus the Raymond School District. And that we've had some scheduling adjustments that we're trying to work out. So the fact that we're beginning respondent's case does not necessarily mean that the complainant's case is concluded. There may be additional witnesses for the complainant at a future date or dates, as it were. But at this moment, we're going to begin the respondent's case. And as I understand it, the first witness is Janelle Wise. And Ms. Wise, is the name your name as it appears on Teams is Janell. Is that the correct spelling of your? Okay,
Yes.
and Wise is just how we'd expect it, WISE?
Yes.
Okay, very well. Okay, before you begin your testimony, I'd just like to swear you in. Can you raise your right hand? Do you promise that the testimony you're about to give shall be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth?
I do.
Thank you.
Good morning still for 6 more minutes, Ms. Wise. Can you hear and see me okay?
I can.
Where do you live?
In the village of Raymond
All right. How long have you lived in the village of Raymond?
since 2014.
What do you do for a living?
I work in supply chain for a local retailer.
Do you have children?
I do have 4.
And are some of your children, do they currently attend the Raymond School District?
They do not. They're all in high school. Well, most are in high school.
Okay. Did any or all of your children go to the Raymond School District before they matriculated from 8th grade?
Yes, all of them did.
Very good. Have you ever served on the Raymond School Board?
I have.
Are you a current board member?
I am not.
When did you last serve on the Raymond School Board?
I guess my term ended in roughly April of 2025.
And did you choose not to go out for the board again?
Correct, yes.
When were you first elected or appointed to the board?
I was appointed to the board in August of 2021.
And then did you run for the board at some point after your appointment?
Yes, I ran for the board and was elected. I guess that would be in spring of 2022.
So did you serve on the board from August of 2021 through April of 2025?
Yes, I did.
When you ran for the board, did you run in concert or in connection with anyone else?
No,
Were there other candidates running for the board in, let's say, just spring of 2022 at the time you were running for the board?
spring of 2022. Yes.
Who else was running for the board at that time?
There was I think it was the first year in Raymond history that there was a primary. So there were originally 6 candidates, and then it was whittled down to 4 candidates. So those that actually ran would be Gwen Keller, Art Binhack, Jillian Berman, and myself.
And then were you and Gwen Keller, of those 4, were you the 2 elected to start serving? Well, I understand you were previously appointed, but were you 2 elected to serve in the April 2022 election?
Yes.
All right, very good.
Laura, I don't know if you need I was also recalled and ran to retain my seat as well. So I don't know if you need any of that in here, but
Well, I'm just
mention.
trying to get the start and the end date and
Yep.
when you ran. So, okay.
Okay.
All right. When you started serving on the board in August of 2021, was Jeff Peterson the principal at that time?
He was recently hired as the principal, yes.
And so to be clear, a prior school board that you were not involved in had made that hiring decision. Is that right?
Yes.
Very good. Who was the superintendent of the Raymond School Board at the time you commenced your work on the board?
Steve Harder.
Very good. Okay. I want to fast forward a little bit and just talk through a couple events. I'm going to try to go in chronological order. Okay, we'll do our best. The judges heard a lot of this, so I'm going to try to skip over fairly quickly some events. Did you become aware that a complaint was made in or around the fall of 2022 against Jeff Peterson?
Yes.
And I know it's been a long time for some of these events, so I just want to give you a little advice. If you don't recall, just tell us and we'll move on, okay? Yes. Do you recall who made that complaint?
I believe the complaint came from Mitzi Conrad.
If I say Mitzi Kozad, does that sound
Kozad, thank you. Yes, yes,
okay.
That's right. Thank you.
The judge has received into evidence an email Mitzi Kozad sent. I'll represent you. Don't worry about dates. It was sometime in the fall of 2022. Did you, as a board member, receive that email complaint?
I don't know if I saw it directly from Mitzi, but I saw it through the school board at some point. Yes.
What did the board decide to do with respect to the Mitzi Kozad complaint against Mr. Peterson?
Because we did not, have the ability to necessarily or think it appropriate for ourselves to investigate an issue like that, we proceeded to bring in somebody, an outside third party, to investigate the situation.
And fast forward, did the board receive a report from Alana Leffler, an attorney from the Bulow Vetter law firm?
Yes.
Did the board review that report in closed session?
Yes.
What action or actions were taken, to your knowledge, in response to the conclusions reached in the Bulow Vetter / Alana Leffler report?
I believe that is what triggered us to search, though we may have already been searching for an interim superintendent. I don't recall that we took any specific action.
Okay. All right. At the time of, let's call it late 22, early 2023, was a decision made by the board to engage a company called HYA to assist with a superintendent search.
Yes.
Were you, Ms. Wise, were you involved at all in the selection of HYA?
I believe it was brought up to us as a board. I don't recall the decision criteria. Our president at the time was mostly involved with that process.
And who was the president at that time?
Jeremy Childers.
Okay. And so was ultimately HYA retained to assist the Raymond School Board with respect to either a superintendent search or an interim superintendent search?
Yes.
Okay. The judge has seen some board minutes of a meeting in early January of 2023. And I can show them to you if you want. I'm trying to do this as efficiently as possible. Do you recall in general, there was a board decision as to whether to engage HYA with a community survey component versus without a community survey component?
Yes.
What were your thoughts in that regard, Janelle? If you remember.
Yeah, honestly, I don't
Okay.
recall. I feel like I believe there were multiple times and multiple surveys that we discussed over time, and I don't recall whether in this instance I was in favor or objected to it. I don't recall. Yeah.
Did you read the HYA leadership survey or leadership profile report when it was received?
Yes. Yes.
And were there things in that report, having read it, that raised concerns?
Yes.
And what were your concerns? I can show you the report if you want, but I just want to get your memory.
I recall we were surveying the community to understand what were the traits, where were the strengths and opportunities of Raymond, and really looking to get advice so that we knew what to seek in that, the traits for that superintendent. And we got a lot of feedback on our then principal, Jeff Peterson, in that report. I don't recall the specific details of what that feedback was.
Okay. I'll represent you the reports in and evidence, so we don't need to go there. Did you, as a board member, become aware that was Dr. Mike Garvey ultimately hired as an interim superintendent?
Yes.
Do you have a memory of approximately when that occurred?
Give me a minute.
Yep, take your time.
Genuinely, I can't put like piece that into the timeline. I am struggling to recall that detail.
It's okay. Let's try it this way. Was Mr. Garvey an interim or acting superintendent at the time the HYA review and analysis was done?
Yes.
Okay. Did the board become aware that Mr. Garvey had made a decision to place Mr. Peterson on a PIP? Performance Improvement Plan is what I'm going to refer to as a PIP. Was that brought forward during closed session board meetings?
Yes.
And I know it was a long time ago. So just explain to the judge as best you can what you recall being told in closed session board meetings concerning that matter being Mr. Garvey's decision to place Mr. Peterson on a PIP.
I mean, I loosely, I don't recall the individual components of the PIP. Certainly it was consistent with, I think, some of the feedback that we had gotten from the community survey and observed interactions that Mr. Garvey had at the time, treating staff unfairly, instances where there would be situations where Mr. Peterson would, maybe walk by trash or leave it there and then observe others or accuse others of not doing their job or talk about them behind their backs, just creating this like kind of work environment that was not friendly to all. It was very friendly to some, but not to all.
Let's talk about that really quick. Very friendly to some, but not to all. Did you, as a board member, formulate some opinions as to whether there was differential treatment going on by Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
What did you base? Well, let me first ask, what did you conclude was going on?
I believed there to definitely be staff being treated differently. To that matter, in some cases, students being treated differently, depending on Mr. Peterson's personal relationship with them or their families.
And what did you base that those thoughts on?
Yeah, some of it was my direct observation, as I had middle school sons at the time. Some of it was through staff members and or community members approaching me at different times to share thought or observation. So a little bit of feedback and a little bit of my own personal observations.
Okay. To be clear, did employees of the Raymond School District express to you concern of differential treatment by Mr. Peterson?
Yes.
Did you observe with your own eyes or ears what you perceived to be differential treatment by Mr. Peterson towards staff?
I didn't directly observe Mr. Peterson with a high degree of frequency in his interactions with staff. Yeah, I don't recall like specific situations related to it.
Understood. So I want to go back. When you said you had direct observations, can you just of that? Could you just tell the judge what you meant by that?
Yeah, I think that was more related to maybe my role as a mother of students and my direct observations of how children and students were treated. So just as a mother observing situations, certain kids definitely seemed to get additional favor and attention And it wasn't equally applied to all. Some complained they were treated differently versus other kids that would have complained about a situation. And yeah, just those types of situations that I would observe.
Was there what you would consider significant staff turnover under Mr. Peterson's leadership?
I don't, I mean, during this entire time period, there was just a decent amount of turnover, so I don't recall the specific timelines, but we were experiencing, I think, higher than recent trends of turnover.
Okay.
And I know like getting substitutes and things like that was challenging for us as well.
Understood. Did the board make the decision to put Mr. Peterson on a PIP, or did Mr. Garvey, or did somebody else?
Yeah, that would be Mr. Garvey. That's not the board's role.
Okay. But the board was informed that he was doing so. Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
And then there's been some documents submitted in this case. I think they're called PIP updates. Don't quote me on that. But was the board periodically made aware of updates, both from Mr. Garvey and I think from Mr. Peterson, concerning how they both viewed the PIP to be going?
Absolutely. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. And I think that's in the record. At some point, was there, I don't want you to tell me the details of it. Was there some settlement discussions that happened between the board through its lawyer and Mr. Peterson through his lawyer to try to resolve the matter?
Yes.
Okay. And settlement discussions themselves are inadmissible. Okay. So we're not going to talk about the details of that. I just want to explain that to you, Janelle. My question is, do you recall approximately when the parties, through their lawyers, began discussing a resolution that would, whatever those terms would be to resolve the employment issues?
It was following after the PIP was issued, like it was that June. So I don't know what year that was. I can't remember where we were in the timeline, but it was it was after the end of that school year.
Okay. I will represent to you that the PIP was issued sometime in April of 2023.
Okay. So then it would have been roughly June of 2023.
Okay.
Is my recollection, June or July.
Okay, that's fine. Obviously, we're here today, so can you just confirm those settlement discussions did not end in a resolution?
Yes.
Okay. Now, I want to take you through, after the PIP was issued, did the attendance, either both volume or demeanor, of people coming to board meetings change?
Yes.
How did it change?
Quite significantly. I mean, there was a large attendance of people supporting Mr. Peterson starting to show up at our board meetings. Pursuing activities that I would say were quite disruptive. I think our annual board meeting even like to take over the meeting essentially. So yeah, the numbers increased greatly. I think signs started showing up at our school board meetings. A lot of people showing up in uniform, like black t-shirts, for example, or wearing things saying silenced. So a lot of activity and interest increased in support of Mr. Peterson.
All right. And you said at times those, I don't want to put words in your mouth. I think you used the word disruptive. Can you give a sense to the judge? He wasn't there. Like what sort of things were going on that you personally viewed as disruptive?
Yeah. We had people that would we speak out of turn outside of public session, make comments. We had people with whiteboards that would draw thing or write words during the meeting and sit in the front row and hold them in our faces.
What sort of words?
Oh gosh, I don't recall.
Okay.
I don't recall they were what they were. We would have people standing outside as we were walking into the school before the board meetings even started it felt like a form of intimidation for board members. We had to engage the sheriff department to start coming to our meetings as an active protective measure. I mean, personally, I had my husband walk me in and out, and I had other adults come to my home and attend my house where my children were, because it was that intimidating and overwhelming.
Okay. I want two more points on this, and I will move on because I know that was a tough time. You mentioned an annual meeting. I don't need an exact date. I'm not sure it matters. If we do, we can maybe find it in the record. But first of all, can you describe in 1 minute or less to the judge what an annual meeting of a school board is?
Sure. The annual meeting, typically it's 2 parts. We go over the budget for like the first part of the meeting, kind of close down that meeting, and then we start a new meeting that basically takes that and turns it over to the community to ultimately vote on. I think it's typically like 4 different resolutions that are for the board to take action on.
So for
usually
example,
surrounding the budget and funding related busing and food service and payment of the board, I think are generally the 4 areas.
Got it. Okay. Do you happen to remember when in that spring, summer, fall of 2023, when the annual meeting was?
Typically we had them in August. I'm guessing that I think we always had them in August up until recently. So.
And now I want you to explain to the judge what you meant. I believe, again, don't want to put words in your mouth, but I believe you said the annual meeting was taken over, or they took over. What did you mean by that, Jen? I'm sorry, Janelle.
Yeah, so the meeting was turned over to the community as per was normal, which was again a very widely attended event. Typically we had only for the annual board meetings, it was just the board members, and we would maybe have 1 or 2 other community members in my prior experiences to that one attend. This one that we had a room full, we had turned over the meeting to a community member, and they passed the 4 resolutions. Then they passed additional resolutions. And I think what was unique about the 4 standard resolutions, one of them being board payment, they paid to, or they were voting on changing the payment for board members down to $1. And then the other item was advising the school board to fire Dr. Garvey, I believe was the other item that was presented at that time.
So there was a resolution passed at the annual meeting to direct the board to fire its superintendent?
Yes.
Was there a resolution passed at the annual meeting that the district could not fund any litigation made against?
Yes. Yes,
hold
I
on.
forgot about that one.
Any litigation made
We're talking
against?
about leading objection, and we're talking about leading questions here. Come on.
A leading pathway there, counsel. I mean, what's good for the goose is good for the gander.
I'll try it this way, Janelle. You understand this is an employment discrimination case, right?
Yes. Yes.
Was there an actual motion passed at the annual meeting that in theory, if it had been valid, would have prevented the district from defending itself in this case?
Yes.
What was, to the best of your memory, what was that motion that was passed?
Yeah, I mean, I believe that the motion was passed is that we couldn't hire outside counsel. And I also believe there was an element of as board members, essentially, we'd be individually, we couldn't have the normal protections that the state provides for school board members.
Okay. Now, is there any doubt in your mind that Mr. Peterson had supporters?
No doubt. He absolutely
Okay.
had supporters. Yes.
So if in this hearing, there are teachers that come forward and say they believe Mr. Peterson was doing a good job, would that shock you?
No,
All right. When Mr. Peterson went on the PIP, did you actually personally meet with him at a coffee shop?
I did. Yes.
Why did you do that?
I, as a leader of people in my career, I believe that it's what I owe anybody that in a situation, especially related to a PIP. So when he reached out wanting to connect, my goal in general with leadership is that you give people the keys to be successful and they choose to turn them and drive the car or not. And so that was my goal and intention in sitting down with Mr. Peterson, was to hear him out, was to help give him advice, was to just meet with him on a human level.
How'd that meeting go, Janelle?
I thought it went really well. I believe it was a lot longer than both of us expected it to be. A lot of good conversation and dialogue.
Okay. Do you have a sense for when, if I tell you the PIP was dated late April of 2023, just accept that representation. Can you give us a sense for how, in connection with that, when you met with him?
It would have likely been April or May of 2023. So it was right around that same time. It was before the school year was over. Yes.
All right. Did you want Mr. Peterson to succeed?
Yes. He outright asked me whether, in my opinion, he had a chance to succeed. And I told him I wholeheartedly believed that he did.
And did you tell him the truth?
Yeah.
As you received the PIP updates, and I'll represent you there May and June, did those updates, both from Mr. Garvey and Mr. Peterson, did you read them when you got them?
I did. I mean, I think I partially advised Jeff. He had expressed in our coffee conversation that he didn't feel like he had the right opportunity to address the board directly. And I had said, well, there's nothing stopping you from sharing your opinion as you were proceeding through that, to reach out to the board members directly and share what he believed his progress to be on that PIP. So that if he didn't feel like his voice was being heard, he had a right to communicate directly with the board members. So yes, I read them, absolutely.
So how did it, I want the judge to understand then, how did it get from the PIP, which I'll represent you again as late April, to June or July, when there are negotiations going on between the parties to try to work out some sort of arrangement?
Yeah, it was pretty clear through action and behaviors that that there was differing in, I would say, goals and leadership styles and ability for Jeff and Mr. Garvey to work towards common goals, and that there was tension being stirred up that was not a healthy work environment for our staff. And ultimately, that's, from what I can recall, what led to knowing that we were going into a contract renewal year. That's what led to the discussion related to the settlement being approached.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to stay on my chronological timeline, so just let me think for a moment. Okay, so I am going to show you a document because I do want to fix this document. Well, before I do, was Mr. Peterson's sex as a male, did that play any part in any of the communications that were going on between the board and Dr. Garvey concerning Mr. Peterson's employment? Up to this point, and this point, I mean, I'm going to talk about late July of 2023.
No.
Was Mr. Peterson's sexual orientation the topic of any discussion between the board and Mr. Garvey concerning the events that we've talked about up through end of July 2023.
No, I was unaware of his sexual orientation, honestly, at that time.
And that leads me to my next question. Well, I'm going to show you a document, so just bear with me as I navigate my exhibit list. I am going to show her.
Is this one that's already in the record?
It is. That's what I'm trying to find it. It's, I think, what we've called the litigation hold letter. It's C11. I can pull it up. I've just got it as a different document, so if you'll bear with me. I'll highlight it when I find it. So I can... Okay, one moment. Okay. Janelle, do you see on your screen a document that has at the top Cross Law Firm Cross Law Firm SC?
I do.
Okay, I'm just gonna represent to you, this was already admitted into evidence. As I stated, it is hearing exhibit C11. All right. This letter purports to be addressed to a Michael Garvey, Audrey Kostich, Gwen Keller, Amanda Falaci, you, and Amy Helvik. Can you confirm those were in fact, ignore Mike Garvey, were those the board members that existed on the board as of August 21, 2023?
Yes.
Did you receive this letter?
I don't recall.
Okay. In this letter, I'll just read it into the record, says this letter serves as notice and to explain to you my understanding of the Raymond School District's ongoing discrimination against Jeff based on his sexual orientation, sex, and marital status. Do you see where I read?
Yes.
Do you can you confirm at some point you saw this letter or no?
I recall seeing it at the deposition. I don't recall seeing it prior to that.
All right. Let me ask this. When did you become aware of Mr. Peterson's stated sexual orientation?
Honestly, the first time that I had heard him state his sexual orientation was actually watching the news one evening when he was making a claim on the news that we were firing him because of his sexual orientation.
Okay. Do you happen to recall, was that before the December 2023 board meeting or after, or you just don't remember?
That was before the December 20. Yeah, I think that was in the summer of 2023 that he went to the news. So.
All right. So at some point through watching the news, you became aware that Mr. Peterson was claiming he is a gay man. Is that fair?
Yes.
Up to that point, did you have any knowledge of his sexual orientation status?
I had never inquired about it directly, nor had it stated to me. So no.
All right. Now, strike that. I want to show you a few other exhibits. I'm going to go a little bit in more detail of the events that happen in the next month. So just bear with me. And by month, I'm talking about August, September. Okay?
Okay.
There's been testimony at this hearing about a flyer or flyers or memo or something distributed at a village board meeting. Were you ever at a Village of Raymond board meeting where a document was distributed that referenced Mr. Peterson?
I was like the community liaison, so I attended the village board meetings very regularly during this time. I was not given anything personally. It was not uncommon, I guess, for things to be distributed at those. I did not receive it personally and at a village board meeting, but
Okay.
I'm aware of the situation you're referring to.
Did that letter, was that posted by somebody on social media?
I believe so. Everything
where-
was posted at that point in time on social media.
Good point. How did you become aware, if you remember, of a letter that was allegedly circulated at a village board meeting about Mr. Peterson?
I don't recall how I
Okay.
became aware of it.
To show you what has been previously marked as hearing exhibit 10. Don't worry about the stickers. Those have different numbers. We've renumbered some things at the hearing. Hearing exhibit 10 is a letter directed to Mr. Peterson dated September 28, 2023. Can you see that on your screen?
I cannot.
Oh, well, it would help if I shared my screen.
C10 or R10?
I'm sorry, R10. I apologize. All right. Do you now see on your screen a letter to Mr. Peterson dated September 28, 2023?
I do, yes.
And I'll go to the signature so you know this was signed by Michael Garvey. Do you see that?
Yes.
This letter, again, it's already in evidence, indicates that Mr. Peterson would be placed on a paid non-disciplinary administrative leave pending the outcome of an investigation by the district. And my question to you, Ms. Wise, is this. Did the school board make a decision to place Mr. Peterson on a paid administrative leave while an investigation was going on? Was that Mr. Garvey or somebody else?
Yeah, again, Mr. Garvey.
Okay.
It was not the school board.
All right. Did Dr. Garvey make the board aware that he was doing this or had done this?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Then I want to show you, this is already admitted into evidence as R11. Do you see on your screen a letter to Mr. Peterson dated September 29, 2023 with the relined preliminary notice of contract non-renewal?
Yes.
This is, thank you, Kathy. This is purportedly signed by Audrey Kostich, board president. Do you see that?
Yes.
Were you present at a school board meeting when the school board made a decision to issue Mr. Peterson preliminary notice of non-renewal?
I believe so.
Okay. Was Mr. Peterson's sex as a male? Let's strike that. Let me go back. How did you vote with respect to the board's decision to issue Mr. Peterson preliminary notice of non-renewal?
I believe I was in support of it.
Why were you in support of it?
Through the commentary review of the PIP proceedings, what had been accomplished, what hadn't been accomplished, both through the record of Jeff's own personal updates to the board and Mr. Garvey's, and the stark difference between the two of them. And I would say the attention that was being placed on the school at the time did not feel like Mr. Peterson was acting in the best interest of the safety of our students and staff, and was further evidence that kind of those concerns related to work environments just weren't being taken seriously.
Did you base your vote to issue preliminary notice of non-renewal at all, in whole or in part, based on Mr. Peterson's sex?
Absolutely not.
Did you base that vote in whole or in part on his sexual orientation?
Absolutely not.
Did you base that in whole or in part on the fact that about a month earlier, his lawyer sent a letter that you may or may not have ever seen saying he felt he was being discriminated against.
Absolutely not.
All right. Now, one moment. Stop. Did you attend a school board meeting on December 6, 2023? I'll represent you. That was the date of that really long hearing that went into the next day.
Yes, I did.
And I don't mean to bring up emotions, but I do think it's important for the judge to know some events that happened in your life that may cloud your memory of some things. Did you have a significant death in the family at some point or shortly before that hearing?
I'm just
I
going to
did.
object on grounds of relevance here.
It goes to her memory, so it is relevant.
I did. My parents lived with me with me at the time.
I'm sorry, before you, I have to rule on objections. I guess if this is, if there are memory issues that would affect subsequent relevant testimony, I think that's fair to have that in the record, so overruled.
Yeah, and for the record only, it's the sole basis for me asking it. Janelle, in 30 seconds or less, tell the judge what happened in the weeks before the December hearing.
Yeah, my parents lived with me. My dad had been in hospice care for 6 months, and he had died November 16th or 17th in the middle of the night. So I get the days mixed up. So he had died, and we had just been working through funeral arrangements and buried him.
Okay, so there was, fair to say, there was a lot going on in your life in late November and early December.
A whole lot going on. Yes.
All right. Nonetheless.
2023?
Yes.
Yep.
Okay.
I'm
So-
sorry for your loss, by the way. I've
Thank
lost
you.
a family member too, so I know how it feels.
Grateful to have him here and with my family during that time. We created some beautiful, lasting memories, but it was definitely a difficult time. As you mentioned, right? It's 6 months of hospice during all of the turmoil in the school district. Anyway.
Yeah. Okay. And sorry to bring all that up, but I do know as of December 6th, you were at the board meeting, right?
I was, yes.
And I'm assuming, did you sit there as best you could and listen to the testimony and the evidence that was presented?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. We have a transcript of that, so I'm not going to ask you what was said in that because we got it. But we don't have a transcript of the deliberations. All right.
Yes.
So let's get some foundation out. Did the board deliberate outside the presence of the public in closed session, I think with its lawyer, after the hearing, the evidence part of that hearing was done?
Yes.
Okay. And Wes and I have joked a bit in this hearing, but do you recall those deliberations took us over the midnight hours such that the actual decision was given by the board the next day?
Yes.
All right. Here's what I'd like you to do. Do your best. And let's start with some focus questions. How did you vote with respect to the potential non-renewal of Mr. Peterson's contract?
I voted in favor of non-renewing Jeff Peterson.
Why did you vote in favor of non-renewing Mr. Peterson's employment contract after the hearing that night?
The evidence that was presented reinforced, showed ultimately that Mr. Peterson wasn't the right fit for the district.
Did you base that on the totality of the evidence?
Yes.
Okay. Couple other just follow-up questions on that. So there was testimony and I think argument made by Mr. Peterson's attorney about the format or form of the performance review that Mr. Peterson was given in or around March or April of 2023. Do you remember that testimony?
Yes.
Did you consider the argument and the testimony that was raised that apparently Mr. Leach, strike that, I apologize to Mr. Leach on that, Mr. Garvey did not utilize the board approved performance evaluation style or document or report.
Yes.
So did you conclude that Mr. Garvey did not, in fact, use the right CISA 6 model?
Yes.
So why, if you made that conclusion, why didn't that tip the scales in favor of retaining Mr. Peterson?
It was still a documented plan of improvement that was outlined the concerns that needed to be addressed from a performance opinion, and whether it followed an exact format or not, I didn't think was the most relevant component to determining or eliminating the validity of the approach that was used.
During the deliberations, did Mr. Peterson's sex as a male come up in any board members, out of any board members' mouths as a reason or purported reason for how they were inclined to vote?
No.
Did Mr. Peterson's sexual orientation come up out of any board members' mouths as a purported reason, in whole or in part, for any board members' thoughts, preliminary thoughts, or final thoughts?
No.
Did the fact that Mr. Peterson had apparently informed the board back in August that he felt he was being discriminated against, did that come up at all in the deliberations?
No, not that I can recall.
What was the ultimate vote by the board?
The majority of the board voted to non-renew Jeff Peterson at that point. I think it was 4-1.
And that's fine. The record will kind of speak for itself. Were there 5 board members on the board at that time?
Yes.
Okay. When the board returned from closed session, were there still, I was there, Wes was there, were there still people in the room?
Yes.
And was there an actual motion, a vote taken in
Yes.
open session?
Yes.
Did certain board members verbalize to those who were present why they voted the way they did?
Yes.
Did you? I know I'm tapping your memory. If you don't remember, it's okay, Janelle. Do you remember whether you said anything to the community who stayed till the wee hours of the next morning as to why you voted the way you did?
Yes.
You can paraphrase it. I know you probably don't have direct quotes, but what did you tell the community as to why you voted in favor of non-renewal?
I remember penning it in the wee hours of the morning. I don't recall really at all what I said.
All right. Did you hear when the board members articulated to the public why they voted the way they did? Did any of those board members reference Mr. Peterson's sex, his sexual orientation, or the fact that he had made an allegation of discrimination?
No.
The judges heard testimony that after remember how I showed you on your screen that Mr. Garvey placed Mr. Peterson on a paid administrative leave? I'll call it fall of 2023. Do you remember that?
Yes.
I'll represent you. We have in evidence a report by a different law firm. I'll call it this. Do I have that in evidence? One moment, please, Judge. I'm going to put that on your screen just to give us oriented on time. So one moment. I do not believe this is admitted, so I would like to mark a new exhibit. I think it's R26, but Judge, I'm gonna lean on you here.
Are you,
What is the next hearing exhibit
oh,
number
you're
for
asking me
respondent?
what would
Yeah.
be the next respondents?
I think it's
Let me
R26.
take a look, but while we're doing that, I don't know if C88 was ever moved.
C88. That was the Wallner.
That was a Wallner
letter.
email to the school board.
Oh, Wes, you want to go off mute? I think he wants to move that. If he does, I don't object to it.
And was this a Sachs report? I apologize.
No. What the judge is asking is whether you want to move into evidence the Wallner email, the
Oh,
kind of,
yes, please. My apologies. It would be, that was, which one was that?
Wallner email to the school board. That was
Yes,
C88.
C018, yep, and we'll
So-
make that C88, yes.
Yes, and Bates number C018.
Yeah.
Correct.
no objection.
Okay, so hearing exhibit C88 with Bates number C018 is admitted. And now let me see if I can. I've got so many lists here. I'll try to find the one that you think it was. You think it's R20 would be the next number would be R26.
That's what I think, if my notes
Okay,
are
let me just
accurate.
let me try to scroll through some of these multiple lists I have here and see if I can find that. I see an R25 and
But I
followed
see-
sequence. Then after that, there was C30 and C31. So, no, hold on. There's more than that.
But Judge, everything after that I have is a
Oh, wait a minute. No,
complainant.
I'm sorry. Give me a second. I'm looking at I'm looking at the Bates. Jeez. God, I got to get my head in the game here. Okay, hold on. So I see an R24, just R25, I see. Right?
And Lori, what's the Bates number of what you're introducing right now?
Yeah, you bet. It is Bates number R20. It's the Stadler-Sachs report, Wes.
I introduced that earlier as a C, but we can have, I mean, you could have an R12 in case your version is signed or maybe slightly different, so I don't know, it doesn't matter.
I'll just,
I think the next one's R26. I see an R25.
I agree, Judge. So I'd like to mark as R26 a document. I'm going to show it to you, Janelle, just to see if you can orient us. So one moment.
Can you give me that you're marking as a Bates number then too?
Yeah, so I'll mark this as hearing exhibit R26. This is Bates number R20.
And can you give me a shorthand description of the document?
Stadler-Sachs report.
Okay.
All right. Janelle, I've shown the first page of the report on the screen. Do you see at the top, I'll represent you, it's a law firm, Stadler-Sachs LLC, and there's a date of February 6, 2024.
Yes.
And I'm just going to go down to the signature, so bear with me, okay? I know it's probably killing everybody's eyes, so I'm gonna get there. You see on page 24 of that report, there purports to be an electronic signature of a Jonathan E. Sachs of the Stadler-Sachs law firm.
Yes.
Okay. Did you as a board member at some point receive a copy of the Stadler-Sachs investigation report dated February 6, 2024?
Yes.
And this is already admitted into evidence as hearing exhibit respondent 16, which is Bates stamped R21. This, Janelle, I'll represent you. Do you see on your screen a letter to Mr. Peterson dated March 4, 2024?
Yes.
And at the end, I do have a point to these questions, so I'm almost there. At the end, you'll see it has a signature from Dr. James P. Hayden.
Yes.
And I'll represent to you this letter. I'll just go to the end. One moment. Purports to have issued, strike that. This letter indicates that as a consequence for certain actions that were found in the Sachs report, that Dr. Hayden was issuing Mr. Peterson a 76-day unpaid disciplinary suspension. Do you see that in the letter?
Yes.
My question is.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to interrupt your chain of thought here, but
Yeah, it's okay.
I think some people are getting kicked off, maybe.
Well, we're going to keep
lines.
rolling because
Okay.
that's the judges said there, unless it's Mr. Peterson, I'll stop my questioning if a party has been kicked off, Wes, or is this just observers?
Let me just double check really quick and make sure Mr. Peterson can get on there.
Yeah.
Okay, 'cause he popped his head in.
The
He's having
only,
some
let me
difficulties.
take a shortcut maybe. I only see one person listed here in the waiting in the lobby. Michael D, is that a witness?
No.
Yes, that is that's not, it's not a witness. It's a family member of Mr. Peterson.
Okay, well, I'll just, I'll go ahead and admit that, but again, as people come in real time, I'm not gonna, if there's a break and I can admit more people, fine, but I'm not gonna continuously monitor that.
No, absolutely. My
Yeah.
client popped his head in because he was having some difficulties, and I just wanted to make sure we were
Okay.
good. Yeah, he says he's back on now. We're good to go. Thank you.
Okay, that's fair.
Ms. Wise, the question before you that I will restate is simply this. Did the school board have any involvement in the decision that